Hello, hello. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So this is a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers. I was just thinking, my thought left my head again. I'm going to try and do this reading as quick as possible without missing any bits and pieces of messages from soul, okay? All right. So I pulled some of the cards already. And I'll just go ahead and get started. Final deck to pull. Do you guys feel the shifting in energy? I think it started last night, like movement, subterranean type of movement. Vortices shifting, just a lot of movement. All right. The moon. I don't know if maybe a moon event has occurred yet again, or maybe like new moon, full moon. I don't know. I haven't been outside. But there are things going on that's being affected by the gravitational pull of the moon. In addition to that, this also represents things that are being hidden, things that maybe we don't want to see, or maybe we just haven't seen and are needing to be aware of at this point. Regardless, this moon card represents feminine energy. This is about shifting within the feminine. When the feminine shifts, we call the earth our mother, right? Gaia is our mother. That's feminine energy. When feminine energy shifts, you can either have tectonic shifting, you could have movement within ley lines, you could have movement of vortices, like shifting of the vortices to different locations. Those things are not fixed. I don't know what science tries to teach, but from what I know, vortices are not fixed. Vortices is the plural for vortex. Yeah, see, summon. I don't know if maybe some of us are calling things to us, or like I don't know. Part of me feels like I don't want to say it just because it's like it's an icky topic. But then another part of me is like, well, so then that would be censoring. So, you know, this goes back to that like sentiment of don't speak it out into the universe. Well, honestly, sometimes even if you don't speak it out into the universe, someone already has, so it's already present. Acknowledgement is different from you being the person that's bringing it out. So something's being summoned forward. I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to see what it is, but I do get a definite sense that something is being summoned forward. What does that do to you? Like, how does that affect you? Well, on a collective level, I think something has been summoned that will definitely affect the behaviors of human beings. Okay. First and foremost, that will affect your behaviors, that will affect your perception. It will affect what you're experiencing, not just how you perceive what you're experiencing, but what you're actually experiencing. Secondly, if someone is summoning something having to do with you, because, you know, Pisces has definitely had more than our fair share of black magic bullshit being attempted on us. Let's just be real here. You know, this is not going to resonate with every single Piscean, but quite a few of us, quite a few of you have been the recipient of this kind of bullshit behavior. So if that is what's going on for you, if that's something that's resonating, and you'll feel if it's resonating, because first off, you'll feel it. And then secondly, you've already been suspecting it. Okay. So if that's your situation, whoever is doing this to you, I believe it's probably a human being that has an issue with you. They're probably trying to step their game up and call something else forward to assist with their maliciousness. Okay. So you have to try and do what you can to minimize that. Just minimize it. Try and remove access to you. Make your social media private. Deactivate your social media. Granted, I didn't deactivate my social media because of dark magic attempts on me, but Pisceans, you are so sensitive to everything. Whether you want to acknowledge that sensitivity or not, it's still present. Whether you're highly reactive to that sensitivity or not, it's still there. That's a part of you. So when you're consistently checking on social media and things like that, it's like you're forming cords to receive that information. And things can go through those cords, okay? I had to deactivate my social media because I didn't like how I was feeling and the way I was beginning to behave, seeing all of the foolery on social media. I just can't. I can't. I'm so easily overwhelmed by that type of behavior, energy, mindset. So I have to remove it. Now, card number 8, vision. Vision, Aphrodite, like love, has to do with love. I think you're being shown exactly what this is. So, okay, with the black magic thing, love and hate exist on the same plane. That means that, you know, in order for someone to hate you, they have to feel some type of love for you with distortions in it. You know there is love, either that's been lost or flipped when there's hatred. I find it very difficult to give people love that isn't just omnilove. Omnilove is a type of love all of us are entitled to just because we exist. The other type of love, like friendship love, romantic love, you know, all of that, that's very, very difficult. It takes a very, very long time for me to do that, to give people that type of love. I can love people in an omni-love way, where even if I don't know you, I'll show you love by supporting you. You know, that's just how I am, the person I am. So now it's like this sense of whoever was doing this, whoever is being malicious, either they fell out of grace with you, like you realized they weren't worthy of the type of love and loyalty that you could give. And so now they're pissed and they're basically having a tantrum. Have your tantrum. I got other shit to do. That's just kind of how I see it personally. If it affects you, it's probably because you're too stressed out to even notice that this monkey ass mofo is popping all your bubbles, you know, popping all your bubbles. So when things are happening with your money, I just see us playing with my money for 5 weeks now. When things are happening with your money, that has a tendency to be because you've maybe, I'm not speaking to anyone in particular, maybe you've developed an overdependency on money. Obviously, we all need money to exist on this plane of existence, on this earth. Okay, that's a given. But when you begin to spend or live in such a way where it's like, shit, I need my next paycheck. Damn. You know what I mean? And most of us do this. So then that makes it so much easier to trigger a trauma-induced accretion by fucking with your money. Whatever people do with dark intent, if it's allowed, it's because that dark intent will serve as a trigger for your trauma-induced accretion. Creation is allowing this to help you learn something through this, something that you can't learn with any other type of circumstance. Allow your process. Go through it and learn through it, and it will definitely be beneficial to you. Damn. Hey, let me also say this. Just because something is a spiritual process where you are being encouraged to learn through adversity, through challenge, it doesn't mean you have no right to be angry. It doesn't mean you have no right to speak up and, you know, raise some cane. I'm just saying, you know, there's nothing spiritual about being quiet and pretending like it's okay. You just have to be patient. When they fucking with your money, they fucking with your feelings. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you need that shit to survive. You need that shit to pay your bills so you can continue to have shelter. So that needs to be corrected. Okay. What you first need to correct is, what have I been doing? Have I been overspending because I'm anticipating an additional amount, or, and I'm not accusing, I'm just saying, like, these are things to think of. When you start thinking of that, then you start realizing, okay, this is how I've been being played. I've been being encouraged in my ear by something outside of me to spend on this and spend on that, to put me in a deficit. Okay, there's a lot of nuances to the way dark magic works, to the way parasitic attempt to breach your field works. All of this, no matter the method that's used, the intent is to cause trauma to dip your frequency tremendously, like a plummet to frequency. And in that plummet, because it's going to rebound, it's going to go back up. It's like when you bounce a ball, it'll bounce back up. The larger amount of force you use to slam that ball down, it's going to bounce back up just as hard. It's going to mirror the force. And so what's going to happen is, when it dips, that's an opportunity. When it dips real low, that's an opportunity for breach. So it's okay for you to dip low, just bounce it back up real fast. Okay. It's not about ignoring or not allowing yourself to feel what you feel, because that anger is telling you something, No, I'm living check to check, not spending because I'm getting just enough to get by. See, so that's why I was saying I'm not speaking to anyone in particular. What I was mentioning, that's the general way that money is used to try and make you more accessible by dipping your frequency. I experienced just buy the crystal. Just buy the crystal. Like, fuck you. How much is that crystal? I can't help it. That's why I can't. I can't. I want to. Ripeness. You're being ripened. If you feel like you've been placed in a bag and that bag closed off, if you feel like you're breathing the same air, stagnancy, that's how you ripen fruit. You put it in a bag, let it breathe the same air, let it marinate in that ripening gas. And then sooner rather than later, your fruit is ripe. So, Derek, I'm wondering if you're just being ripened right now, and it doesn't feel like it, but you're just being ripened because, it's time to level up. So, awareness. Whatever you thought was going on with your life, that's being burned away. It's being burned away. You're being asked to become a blank slate, an empty slate, a blank canvas. Your boxes are being emptied. There's just a lot of burning away that's going on. Okay. There's a lot of burning away that's going on. Some people think it's about balance, but it's actually not. It's about centeredness, being centered in the co-created reality you exist within. Balance, if your focus is balance, you're going to continue to have to expend ridiculous amounts of energy to try and balance. But if you're centered, balance is a natural result of that. And it takes much less effort to maintain centeredness. It takes more effort to achieve centeredness, but minimal effort to remain there in comparison to balance. So it's kind of like the difference, and Derek, I think you can appreciate this. It's the difference between torque and horsepower. So centeredness requires more torque, the pulling forward, right? Whereas balance requires more horsepower. It requires a larger tank of gas because you got to go a longer distance, expending so much piston activity. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I don't think that it needs to be balanced between darkness and light either. I believe there needs to be an acknowledgement of the two, because when you center yourself, you don't have to balance the two. Okay, so when you say balance, that means for 5 grams of darkness, you need 5 grams of light. Well, what if you need to be a little extra dark right now in order to resolve your circumstance? You're off balance. You know what I mean? You put 5 more grams of darkness, definitely off balance. But if you're centered, you're centered. You can use as much or as little of each as necessary for each circumstance throughout the day. So commune with the source. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like correcting everybody. I'm just sharing my thoughts. You could totally be like, No, I don't agree. I'm like, okay. 83% at 838. So card number 17, commune with the source. What is the source of your angst? What is the source of what's stressing you out? What's causing you to feel badly, causing you to feel like, damn, I'm screwed. But are you? And it's okay for you to be like, yes, I am, especially when they're fucking with your money. I'm just saying, that's like shit. We need to feed the babies. Sometimes I'm the baby. We need to have a place to stay. We have car notes. We have insurance. We have all this shit we need to pay. So you have to commune with the source of what is triggering this. This is a learning period. Remember, I've been saying for days now, we're in a period of purging. It's a Piscean purge in a Scorpio season. Scorpio season's about to end, right? When is it? Hold on. November 22nd. November 22nd. All right. Epiphany. Reveal your gifts. Sometimes the places where you've been injured, where you've been wounded, those are the places your gifts will seep through. Okay? Those are the places where it will seep through. You have to allow your gifts to be revealed. For some of us, maybe this is what is like being, maybe this is what the goal is, to cause so much tension that you tear within yourself and allow your gifts to seep through. Okay. The boss not fixing anything, so I'm going over his head. Absolutely. Use his head as a ladder. Card number 10, become a loving mirror. You have to be able to mirror back to yourself the beauty and the love you give so easily to other people. You have to be able to do that, okay? Pisceans, we have a tendency to be overly concerned with how other people feel. We don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. We want to wada, 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 wada. And so you have to wada, wada for yourself too, okay? We often feel very, very selfish if we don't accommodate other people's needs or feelings, or, sometimes I need to look in the mirror myself, see myself, not just be a loving mirror for other people. You be knowing, child. Wada, wada, wada. Card number 15, big, bold vision. See yourself and your life differently. Have a big, bold vision for yourself that you can take the time to achieve, okay? When your self-confidence is attacked by the one you love the most, it's hard to see reality and get out of your own head. When people attack me, especially the people that I love the most, which is not often, I see that as a reflection of me attacking myself. And I learned this over and over and over. Whenever I get an influx of individuals outside of me, like attacking me, saying things about me, I pause and I look at like, okay, what are they saying? Shit, that's the stuff I'm saying to myself. Yeah, that's the stuff I'm saying to myself. This is a reflection of how ugly it's become inside of me. I'm going to correct what's inside of me, and I'm going to allow my soul to allow this correction, internal correction, to become externalized in proper time. Sometimes it's immediately, sometimes it takes time, but I know my soul will correct this. So long as I correct myself, it's going to correct it outside of me too. And I'm not the only one that's experienced this type of thing. I definitely have had clients who are like, oh my God, what have you done for my family? Everyone's getting along now. I'm like, I didn't do shit. I'm minding my own business over here. Well, as soon as I began to improve my internal, they began to behave. Well, then you're correcting that. They're a reflection of you. I always can tell when internally I'm too much and I've ignored it, because I'll see my children behave too much and they ignore it, like, lack of boundaries, just really easily triggered, more willing and able to argue with each other. That's a reflection of me. So instead of yelling at them, I'm like, okay, I'm out of hand. And usually as they see me quietly breathing with my eyes closed, they're I don't know if they're like, oh shit, she's about to get mad. We don't want to deal with her like that. Or they feel the difference, the shift in me. There's times where if I feel sad for no reason, one of my kids will be like, I just feel really sad. I'm like, what's wrong? I don't know. I'm like, I think maybe it's just a sad day. We should shift it. We should turn it around. And then they feel better. Once I turn it around within myself, they feel better. So your environment really is a reflection of you. Maybe this is a message of you, or for you to begin recognizing it's time to cultivate that reflection. So you can have a garden, but if you don't cultivate that garden, your garden's going to look like doo-doo. Okay. There's no growth. There's nothing but weeds. It's just, it's not pretty. If you want to have a pretty life, you have to cultivate a pretty life. And I'm not just talking about the aesthetics of it. I'm talking about pretty in its all its ways, like full of grace and compassion and just beautiful things, Card number, oh, God damn. I'm sorry for being a bad word there. Card number 22, she knows. You feel what's going on. You can feel it, but do you know? Do you know why? Do you know where it comes from? Do you know how to shift it into a more balanced, more centered state? And if you're going to keep looking outside of yourself for the causations, you're probably going to feel very beat up. You're probably going to really, really struggle with other people's behaviors and all of that. I tell you, you guys, one of the most powerful things that I do for myself, it's not always, but when I become aware of it, painfully aware of it, I begin doing it for myself. It's this recognition that everything outside of me simply triggers processes within me. And if I can identify what's being triggered, I can then neutralize the struggle and be actively learning. You know what I mean? So going back to the analogy of cars and engines, if you don't know what's wrong with a car, you're going to continue to stress yourself out. I had someone, I don't know why, I was just like, I knew someone in high school, he drove a stick shift, and for some reason, whenever he put it in reverse, the gears wouldn't grab and it wouldn't reverse. His reverse blew out. And so he would back up his car like Barney Rubble with his fucking foot out of the car. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? And he was like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know about cars, but I'll tell you, it's your fucking transmission. Get that shit fixed. And then your car is fine. You don't have to complain about your shoes being worn down. Like, are you kidding me right now? It's your transmission. That's what's wrong. Okay. That's what's wrong. Oh, but it's only in reverse. Yeah. Transmission is responsible for that. It's like just common sense to me, but it's not common sense to everyone. That's the thing. Regardless of what you're into, the image you portray, because this person from high school, he was part of a race crew. He was part of a race crew. They worked on cars all day. Like, he was my high school boyfriend's BFF. And I would be there with them as they worked on. I'm like, bro, that's your transmission. Now, it might be the clutch. If it grabs the gear when you're driving forward, nothing's wrong with the clutch. It's the fucking transmission. And that's the thing. I think many of us, our transmission is broken on our spiritual vehicles. Like, we have this like lack of realization. We're not able to go in reverse. And sometimes you have to back up. It's not always about going forward. That's the thing. We think that so long as we're going forward, everything's fine. But sometimes part of your path requires reversal, going backwards, making a U-turn. How do you do that? If you can't make a 3-point turn, how do you make a U-turn? Well, you open your door and you stick your foot out like Barney Rubble. I'm just like, yo, that shit needs to be fixed. Card number 13, power of attraction. You're attracting to you the very circumstance you need to really, really learn. Whether that attracting is bringing circumstance, individuals, whatever it is, it's bringing it to you for your learning. Derek, does that make sense to you? It's just like, bruh. bruh, like your foot is not meant to be fucking used for your car like that. It's just like okay. Ice bottom. A windfall of money, advice, or assistance from others. A very successful project. A happy change in your career. When you're able to back out of that bullshit, if they didn't miss you with their bullshit, because you know that saying, miss me with your bullshit. If they didn't miss you with the bullshit and you got hit with it, you kind of need to back out, clean yourself off, and then continue going forward. I think when we do that, when we allow ourselves to have that type of movement, you'll have a windfall of money, advice, or assistance from others, a very successful project, a happy change in your career. So I don't know the laws of your state. I've only been in your state maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times. Just not enough for me to become familiar of whether or not you have a labor law commissioner. It might be worth your while to check and see if you do have a labor law commissioner. In California, the labor law commissioner helps to regulate and police the employment field. Employers are not allowed to just treat their employees like that. I mean, but you would have to check. You would need to have an actual written job offer that, you know, I don't know if it can just be verbal. So you have to check into that. Don't just wait for someone. Be proactive in it. 9 of spring, protect the fruits of your labors. Prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead. Environmental conservation. So, I mean, I don't know. I pulled these cards at the very, very beginning before I even went live. I'm really feeling like these are for you, Universal D. But it applies to all of us too, though. Protect the fruits of your labor. It's important for you to be proactive in the maintenance of your space, of your projects, of your learning, all of that. You have to be proactive. You cannot rely on other people to have, you know, integrity, to follow with their promises, all of that. You can't. You can't. And maybe this stems from my lack of trust in the world at large. Or maybe it's just from an awareness of how many lifetimes I've lived where trust was still an issue. Not because I have issues, but because the world just is not a trustworthy place. There might be some individuals who can be trusted, but does that mean the collective whole of the human being race can be trusted? Probably not. Probably not. And part of the major lessons that I've learned earlier in life, through my young adulthood, all the way till now, it has to do with recognizing who deserves that level of trust. How are you discerning this? What steps are you taking to ensure you are trusting the right people? Well, they look nice. Oh, well, they're super sweet. Yo, let me just put this out there, okay? The people who have really, really gone out of their way to not just betray my trust, but full on malicious intent to try and destroy me, tear down my business, tear apart my marriage, like all kind of shit. Those are super sweet bitches. Super sweet bitches. With the sweetest smiles, too. Here's the thing, I have a sweet smile, too. I don't give a shit about your smile. And I used to not give myself permission to not give a shit about your smile. No, don't be like that, Emmie. No, they're super sweet. No, they're like really supportive of you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that I used to allow in. And then they'd have their way with me after. Or try to. Try to. So now, like, I really don't care how sweet your smile is. I really don't care how sweet you are. I'm looking at your behaviors. What kind of patterns am I seeing? What am I giving entry to? Your patterns make me feel uncomfortable, but you're so super sweet. Yep, I'm done. Yep, nope. I just, nope. I mean, I'm not going to attack you, but I'm not letting you in. I don't think so. So recognize the patterns that you yourself have where you're letting certain types of things in, or People have been observing you and they're looking for ways in which to get over on you. 71% at 853. Ooh, 7 plus 1 is 8. 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8, 8, 8. So it's just one of those things. Learn the lesson, grow yourself, and stop the bullshit that's going on around you. Prince of Winter, intellectual, determined, focused, impulsive. Pisceans can be impulsive. So seek out an intellectual solution to your problem. The need to act quickly and decisively, sudden or unexpected changes. Ooh. The need to act quickly and decisively. And that need, those actions come after seeking out an intellectual solution to the problem first. Some very potent voice. So yeah, I gotta get going to my sessions. I hope this reading helps whoever needed more clarity. I hope it empowers you in your journey. And yeah, if you guys can give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Also, I'll be live again later on to probably do more readings. So I'll see you guys. Bye.